Wagwan people. Oh boy, that was hot. I'm so sorry. You know, my microphone that I bought, it's kind of been shit in the brick lately. But welcome back to another episode of Not Another Formula One podcast. Please ignore, like I said, my AirPods. This is what we got to do. Also, ignore the sound of my AC because it's hot in here and I need AC. Okay, I'm sorry. Anywho, we here for the 2025 Azerbaijan Grand Prix review. And I'm doing it straight off the heezy again. No rubber. Raw dogging it. Okay, pre-race weekend. Let's get into some news. Azerbaijan just announced that the Baku City Street Circuit will be sticking around until 2030. Rather mixed feelings about that one, to be honest. It's an okay track. I don't know. It doesn't provide the best racing. Too many 90-degree turns. Like, it's fast. DRS is great here. But we'll get into later how some people just couldn't pass. More news. Apparently, Aaron Willis, whoever this is, maybe I'm probably not even getting his name right. Might be replacing Franco Colapinto. Wouldn't surprise me. Alpine, the French, love to chop off heads. So, shit happens. And we might be seeing a different lineup for Alpine next year. This news actually dropped recently after the race, but it was announced that Christian Horner finally settled with his former employer, Red Bull, for what's estimated to be around a smooth 70 to 100 mil. And this was like a buyout for what should have been his contract that wasn't up until 2030. And there's a chance that he might potentially be back in F1 at some point. But he's got plenty of history in the sport. Good, great, and very ugly. But really, though, imagine having to pay out a guy like about 100 mil to not even work for you anymore. Tough. Hope it doesn't come out of the car budget. But I can't really think of much more news at this time. Let's get into practice. Practice? We talking about practice. I do this every week. I'm sorry. But, Allen Iverson, one of the greatest ballers of all time. Anywho, FP1, Lando Norris, Oscar Piastri, and Charles Leclerc topping the timesheets. FP2, Lewis Hamilton, Charles Leclerc, and George Russell? The Ferrari boys looking like they have pace? This is just practice. And there seems to be a recurring theme here, where Ferrari looks really good in practice, and then they fuck the whole race. Anywho, FP3, Lando Norris, Max Verstappen, Oscar Piastri. Now that looks about right. Qualifying, what the fuck? That was something else. A record-breaking 6 safety cars. I sat through all 2 hours of that shit. I was almost late to my appointment at the auto shop because I had to sit through all this. But yeah, I mean, if we go through all 6 safety cars, I believe it started with Albon scraping the wall at turn 1. Nico Hülkenberg went headfirst into the wall. Franco Colapinto, reacting to the yellow flag caused by his own teammate, Pierre Gasly, slams into the same wall that Hulkenberg ran into. Um, Ollie Behrman kissed the wall on the exit of turn 2. And Mr. I Am Stupid bins it into turn 16. And, at this point, I'm fucking exhausted. Like, we're about an hour and a half or more into this qualifying. This is longer than a race. We could have done a whole race distance. And the time it's taken them to get halfway through Q3. And, like, starting to rain a bit. And then, cover your ears, McLaren fans. Just when we're trying to wrap shit up, Oscar Piastri decides he wants to understeer into the wall. I think it was like turn 5 or 6. I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking of the crash he had in a race. But I won't talk about that right now. Your top 10 qualifiers were a stonking lap from Max Verstappen on pole. I think like some 5/10 ahead of P2, who was Carlos Sainz. Now, this was a bit of luck. He set his time before Oscar's shank. I don't know. Fuck it. And somehow found himself was on pole for a bit, but then once everything got resumed, that's when Max set a stonker. P3, Liam Lawson, solid. P4 and P5 respectively, Kimi Antonelli and George Russell. Kimi Antonelli will surely be happy with getting the edge on his teammate in this one. That'll look good. P6, Big Yuki Tsunoda. What a legend, dude. I think this is his best qualifying for Red Bull so far this year. P7, not capitalizing on his teammate Oscar Piastri's mistake, was one Lando Norris. Damn, buddy. Everything on a golden platter for him, and he only gets P7. P8, Isaac Hadjar. Big up to Isaac Hadjar. And then P9 and P10, respectively, Oscar Piastri and Charles Leclerc, who technically didn't finish because they went and binned it. Yeah, let's move on to the race. Really wasn't much happening in this race, if I'm being honest. Max gets a good start from pole, as he always does. Everyone else kind of follows suit, except Piastri, who decides he wants to jump the start like a dummy, and then halts, stops a little bit to try to correct it, falls to dead last, and then proceeds to throw it into the wall by turn 5. Come on, bruh. It's supposed to be a championship fight here. I'm pulling for you, Oscar. You're lucky your teammate's fucking trash. Or else this could have been a big point swing. Anywho, also jumping the start, Fernando Alonso, but he just received a 5-second penalty. Not that it made a damn difference. He was already starting from the back. In fact, he was the last person to pass Oscar Piastri when Piastri did his little stop. I don't know. Whatever. Safety car comes out, comes back in around lap 4-5-ish, I think. But that's when we see another Max masterclass of safety car restarts. Go back and watch the onboard if you can from that one, like Carlos Sainz onboard, because they're coming down the back straight, basically the start finish straight. Um, and Max, the safety car comes in. Max becomes the effective safety car, green flag. Whenever he goes, everyone else goes. You know how the rules work, or I hope you do. And Max decides he wants to start, snaking around, doing the little wee-doo to like get some temp in his tires. And Carlos Sainz behind him is like, oh, if Max is warming up his tires, I can warm up my tires too. But of course, Max, fucking big brain move, sees Carlos in his rear view getting snaky and guns it. And I think by the end of the lap after the safety car, he was already like a second and a half ahead. That's just what Max does. He's a genius. He knows exactly what he's doing. More incidents, I think, it was Alex Albon, who got a 10-second penalty for colliding with Franco Colapinto, as if Colapinto needed any more ridicule or bad weekends. Shame. Liam Lawson was holding third rather impressively for a while, but eventually fell short to the two Mercedes boys behind. Not getting past Big Yuki. Man, he had little Lando in his back pocket the entire race. Shame on Lando for not capitalizing on the faults of his teammate. Damn, son. You were staring at that Oracle sign all race, buddy. Everything at your disposal, and you started 7th and he finished 7th. Shit, Lando. But, I don't know. Still didn't dick happen in this race. Max was ahead by a mile. He stayed out a while, switched from hards to medium. Everyone else was doing like a medium to hard. Lando stayed out probably about 40-some laps on mediums, which is impressive. I'll give him that. But I think maybe had he done like an undercut or something he was stuck behind a Yuki on hards. So trying to overcut or undercut someone on a harder tire who's going longer probably isn't the smartest. I don't know. Lando, maybe the team's just fucking up. And then he did pit. And once again, he has another bad stop. I think it was last race when he had his rear tire jack get fucked up. Now it was his front tire, or maybe vice versa. I don't remember, nor do I care. But he had a bad stop. And really, ain't it tough when you have a bad stop, but your teammate's not in the race to let you switch positions? Womp womp. Undercuts, overcuts. George Russell pulls a rather brilliant overcut on Sainz and claims second place. But other than that, there wasn't shit to this race. Max gets the fastest lap on the penultimate lap and crosses the line about 14 and a half seconds ahead of George Russell in second. And takes his 6-7. 6-7. Is that what all the cool kids are saying these days? 6-7. His 67th race win in Formula One. And yet another Grand Slam weekend. I believe he's had at least a Grand Slam in the last 5 seasons. Maybe I'm wrong. I think I saw that stat somewhere, but really, what a generational talent. Shoot. How about we get into the top 10 finishers, everybody, of your Azerbaijan 2025 Formula One Grand Prix. Like I said, Max, P1, victorious. Real shame they don't do the fastest lap point anymore. Because, I don't know, what's the point of not having it? Like, whatever. Anywho, George Russell gets second, as he does. Carlos Sainz gets third. Rather shocking and impressively, being Williams' first full race podium since Lance Stroll did it, I think, at the same exact track back in 2017. Wasn't it Baku? Back when Williams was still eating off of that good-ass Mercedes engine. And Lance Stroll, I think it was his rookie year, got the luckiest podium ever. I don't remember. But yeah, I think it was Baku as well. Funny. P4, Kimi Antonelli, good not recovery. I'd say it's a recovery from the last 4 months he's had, because he hasn't really done shit since that podium in Canada. And yeah, I'm sure he'll be proud. Of course, he'd have wanted third place. He was only like 2.5 seconds behind Sainz at the end of it. But anywho, Liam Lawson in 5th. Another solid points haul for the Racing Bulls team. And especially Liam Lawson, who I think is now only like maybe less than 10 points behind Isaac Hadjar in the driver's standings. Which is crazy. I mean, when you consider the lowest of the low point he had at the beginning of the season, he's really getting his shit together. Speaking of getting his shit together, P6, Big Yuki! Big Yuki. In 8th, no, not 8th, he got 8 points for finishing 6th place. His career best finish for the Red Bull team. Hope he keeps it up. Please, God, let him keep it up. And also, keep this up, Lando Norris in 7th. Damn, son. You got held up, buddy. I think it was only less than half a second finishing between Yuki and Lando. You mean to tell me, with all the slipperiness and tire management that McLaren car can do, he couldn't manage to slip past the Red Bull? Bruh. But yeah, now I think that puts Oscar's championship lead at only 28 points. Don't quote me on that. Absolutely failing and flailing the Ferrari boys, Hamilton and Leclerc, 8th and 9th respectively, only getting 6 points out of the weekend. Surely they'll be disappointed. But yeah, what can you do? It's fucking Ferrari, dude. Like, they're gonna brick it. I don't know if it's the car or just driver morale. But shit, I'm sure they're looking back at Carlos Sainz right now, kicking themselves. P10, your final points finisher, big old Isaac Hadjar. Isaac Hadjar making it 11 points for Racing Bulls, RB, whatever the hell you want to call them. Solid points haul. What can I say? They really need it in their fight with Kick Sauber, or what will be known as Audi. Or not, yeah, Audi. No, I'm right. I'm definitely right. My predictions from last week. Number 1. Well, my predictions for this race, sorry. That Oscar Piastri gets the dub. Nope. Wait. Hold on. No, now that I mention it, the championship lead is only at 25 points now. That's right. He was 31 going into this race. Lando got 6. Yeah. Math is mathin'. Yeah. Did not extend his championship lead. Number 2, Charles Leclerc will get a podium. No, he didn't. Not even close, in fact. Fuck it. I don't know how Ferrari were so good last year at this track and now just eat shit. But it's also because Charles Leclerc is a bottle job. My third prediction was that a huge, potentially race-altering crash. Specifically, I said, I don't know who, but keep your eyes out for turn 1. Now, I can't really claim this as a dub, but I could claim it. I mean, there were 6 safety cars in qualifying. And then Oscar Piastri, not at turn 1, but on lap 1, binned it at turn 5. So I don't know. Maybe I'll count it. Cut me some slack here. Oh boy, we are in Singapore in a couple weeks. Actually, in about a week. You know, I record this late. I record this shit late. I'm sorry. I've got a day job. You know, I can't just watch the race Sunday, record the podcast Monday, and have it up by Tuesday. I mean, it's Wednesday, 2:30 p.m. right now. I'm just big bone. McLaren, who could have taken the Constructors' Championship, failed to, obviously. And I mean, they probably will get it here in Singapore if they have a good race. And it's not like they're not going to get the Constructors. I mean, who the hell is going to blow a 300-plus point lead? Talk of the town right now is that Max could potentially come back and take the drivers from the McLaren boys like candy from a baby. I mean, maybe Red Bull, it would have to be seriously the most ridiculous downfall of a team in this backstretch of races for Max to get the dub every race and take the championship. But who knows, baby? You can't count out Max Verstappen until it's over. Even Andrea Stella said, you know, Max is a threat. Now, he might just be blowing smoke up some asses, maybe trying to galvanize his boys. But I think everyone's aware that Max is that guy. And not only will he steal your bitch, shout out Daniel Kvyat, he'll steal your car too, shout out Daniel Kvyat, but he'll steal your championship, shout out Lewis Hamilton. My 3 predictions for Singapore are that McLaren will win. I think they'll come back. I mean, they were pretty good here last year. I don't see why they'll have another bad weekend. They're both back-to-back street circuits. I don't know. But historically, this track hasn't been good for, or at least in the last couple of years. Max is great here at Singapore. The problem is just the car's not really made for it. But I feel like Red Bull might get their shit together, maybe. But you know what? My second prediction is I'm going to say that Red Bull won't have the bestest day. I say maybe Max P3 at best. That is my second prediction. My third prediction, I'm going to say that a safety car will determine the outcome because, you know, they say Baku's the big, like, safety car track, but realistically, Singapore is the safety car track, dude. Everyone fucks it. Everyone fucks it at Singapore. When it rains, it pours. And it happens in Singapore. A safety car will determine the outcome of this race. And whoever you think might be in the contention for the dub will not be in contention for the dub. That's all, people. I'm going to get back to live in my everyday life. I'll see you in about a week or two for the review of Singapore. Until then, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. It's fun just to ramble. All right. Thank you for watching Not Another Formula One podcast. I'll see you on the flippity floppity big brother. Big brother man. Oh, Wagwan!